Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to go over 5 pros of living in Michigan. So make sure you stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Kevin Irwin.
And I'm Ross Young.
We are local real estate agents here in the West Michigan area. If this is your very first time to our channel, we go over anything and everything that has to do with living and thriving here in the great state of Michigan. So if this is your first time, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification so you get notified every time we put a new video out. And you know what? We like making these videos, but we love helping you move here to Michigan way more. So do not hesitate to reach out to us. The information scrolling down on the bottom is the best way to get a hold of Ross and I. You can call us, you can text us, you can email us, you can even send a pigeon carrier if you have to. Whatever you have to do to get a hold of Ross and I, we have your back when it comes to making a move here in Michigan. Okay, without further ado, let's go with cons first, and then we'll jump. No, let's go with pros first.
Yeah, we want to tell people why they should move to Michigan.
Yes, exactly. And then we'll get into the cons. So make sure you stay tuned for the cons. So the first pro, what is it, Ross?
Now, the first pro is going to be the cost of living in Michigan. Now, with average home price in Michigan being right around $241,000, it's much, much lower than the national average of $248,000. Now, obviously, we just put a video out that's most expensive cities in Michigan, and there's going to be areas in Michigan where it's going to be much, much more and much higher standard of living and cost of living.
Yeah, and I think that's like that in every single state.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You're going to have different areas that are higher end, but the overall average of the house prices here in Michigan is right around 241, with the average in the U.S. being 348,000. So it's definitely lower.
Absolutely. So housing is cheaper. Cost of living is, say, utilities and food and groceries, things you need to actually live, hence why cost of living. It's really interesting when we look at the numbers from, say, like California to Michigan, because we've helped a lot of people move here from California, and those numbers are awfully staggering when you look at what it costs to actually just live basic out in California compared to Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of that is because our population here in Michigan is only 9 million for the entire state.
Right.
So you're talking in some of those city areas, that's low just for the city.
Right.
So when you've got that many people, companies can charge a lot more because there's a lot more people.
Absolutely. There's a lot more demand.
So the second pro of living in Michigan is all of the outdoor activities that we have here. Now, Michiganders are extremely active out and about. We have all 4 seasons, so there's always something to do outside here in Michigan. So fun fact about Michigan, Michigan actually has 3,288 linear miles of beaches here in Michigan. That's very, very unique. We basically have our own oceans.
Yes.
That's the way we consider it, because you cannot see across any of these lakes.
Now, along these coastlines, we have a lot of beach towns. For instance, like Holland, Saugatuck, Grand Haven,
Muskegon, Traverse City,
Pentwater, Ludington, Mackinac. That's only just going up the west coast, and you have just as many down the east side and also in the UP as well. We just talked about how we have all these great lakes and stuff, but there's also 11,000 inland lakes. If you're kind of seeing a theme here, is that Michigan is very much a water-based state.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of our license plate says Winter Water Wonderland.
Yes.
Because everything around Michigan is all about water, outdoors, and obviously the 4 seasons, why a lot of people come here. So when you're in Michigan, you're going to see a lot of boats, you're going to see a lot of kayaking, you're going to see a lot of tubing, a lot of fishing. And let's go over to more of the land-based stuff. What would you expect to do?
Before we jump over to the land, I do want you to keep in mind, part of this pro could also be a con, depending, because if you are interested in coming here to live on one of these 11,000 lakes, lake life here is a premium.
Yes.
And every single lake is going to come with a premium price. So just keep that in mind. We do have a lot to choose from as far as inland lakes for you to be able to get on a lake that's not an ocean. If you want to do that, just make sure that you've got the budget in mind for that. Okay, so yes, we have Manistee National Forest. Now, Manistee National Forest is thousands of acres of public land, and that's not just the Manistee National Forest. There's actually 4.6 million acres of public land in Michigan. So this, you can go hiking, you can go horseback riding, you can take your side-by-sides out on it, your quads, your dirt bikes, your Jeeps, your trucks. Like, there's so much to explore in Michigan. It's going to take you years and years and years to see it all.
Not to mention the sand dunes. I mean, you got Silver Lake Sand Dunes, which is an off-road park, which is all just sand Dunes, which it's massive. Absolutely massive sand dunes. And then you also have Sleeping Bear Dunes, which is more of a walking friendly area.
It's actually quite the trek to get up to the top of it.
It is. It is. And going back to the hiking part. So Sleeping Bear Dunes, Silver Lake Sand Dunes, and there's also a number of other off-road parks that are scattered throughout Michigan as well.
Yep. So lots of stuff to do for 4x4 lovers. And then also something new that I figured out is there is a bunch of different mountain bike courses. They're all over the place, and that is getting more and more popular. So if you are into mountain biking, even though we don't have mountains, unless you go to the Porcupine Mountains up in the Upper Peninsula, you're still going to be able to get your mountain bike out and go ride.
I don't think something that's talked about enough is, like Manistee National Forest, the Huron National Forest, just going out and hiking and camping out in that public land. I mean, the people own it. You can just go out there and you can pitch a tent and hang out.
Yeah, Sunday I did an open house on a house, and it was right out by the Manistee National Forest Trail. So what did I do when I got done? I went out and hit the trail.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Absolutely. And it's definitely a way to get away from the hustle and bustle of any cities. And there's actually a lot of really cool secluded spots that you can go to where there's like creeks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And just go
and a really good app for that, actually, if you are wanting to do that, because you don't have to have a crazy built vehicle to go on a lot of these trails. Onyx Off-Road is an app on your phone that's going to show you where all of the trail systems are. You can plan out where you're going and, take your kids out on an adventure. The kids love it.
Absolutely.
So
moving on to number 3. Number 3 is the amount of festivals that happen here in Michigan. Now, notable festivals that are nationally and world renowned are festivals such as the Tulip Time Festival in Holland.
Gorgeous.
Coast Guard, absolutely gorgeous.
And it's springtime, so that's always fun.
Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven, which is a riot. Cherry Festival in Traverse City, which a lot of people in Michigan don't even know about the Cherry Festival in Traverse City, and that's an amazing time because many years they have like an air show and stuff there too, and you're able to. I know the Blue Angels have showed up there, and it's just awesome. The Lilac Festival on Mackinac Island, the Ann Arbor Film Festival, and there's a bunch of local fairs and holiday parades are very common in these small towns.
Absolutely. And, to kind of dig into some of these, just so you kind of have an understanding of them, like the Coast Guard Festival. This is one that my family loves to go out to because they have one of the best fireworks shows. Like it kicks 4th of July's butt.
Yes.
Like it's an amazing fireworks show. You get to walk down the pier. You get to go to the lighthouse. There's tons of boats out everywhere so you can watch the boats. And almost every single year, because of the timing, there's no rain. It's usually nice and warm. It's just an amazing time, and there's tons of people down there. So it is a really good time. Mm-hmm. That's just to name a very few of them. Like there's a ton more. Like I'm sure some of you have heard of Art Prize, Grand Rapids. That's world renowned. Yep. People from all over the world come to show off their art in that. West Michigan community, obviously you guys know we're from West Michigan, but the Michigan community, it's friendly. A lot of people say hi. You're going to get a lot of these hometown festivals that you can go check out. There's going to be a lot of little tables there with local people that you can check out their goods and services and stuff like that. So it really is a big pro as far as having stuff to do rather than just sitting at home.
Absolutely. So moving on to number 4.
All right, number 4, which realistically is like the number one pro of Michigan. That is Michigan's Four Seasons.
Yes.
Now, this is the number one answer we get from everybody that wants to move here when we ask them, why do you want to move to Michigan? Almost every single one of them say, we want the Four Seasons. And it's not arguably, it is the best state to have the best of all 4 seasons.
Yes. Well, I think the biggest reason is because a lot of states you go right from summer straight into winter, what they call winter. But Michigan has a very pronounced summer, usually a very pronounced fall, winter, and spring. And it's not like it's summer one day. It feels like it sometimes. It's summer one day, winter the next. Usually there is a time frame of at least a month or two to transition from summer to winter.
It kind of tricks you, plays with your mind, and goes back and forth a little bit, but it just doesn't do hard switch.
And with all these seasons, there comes different benefits. During the spring, we have the Tulip Time Festival. That's when all the flowers are coming out. Tulips are one of the first flowers to bloom, and it's a very beautiful thing.
One thing we should mention, because we're Michiganders, born and raised.
Yes.
Springtime is like, for us Michiganders, because we've had 5 months of cold snow, nastiness, and grayness. So when the sun comes out in the springtime and it's the air. We're in shorts and t-shirt already because
Right, 50 degrees out.
right,
Shorts,
50
t-shirt,
degrees. It's
let's
like,
go.
oh my God, it's like 90 degrees out. So springtime Michigan people are very excited. Like the spring home and garden show is coming to get you excited for summer. So there's a lot of fun stuff that, in springtime, it's a good time of year.
One of the best things is, a little side story, when you live in Michigan for a period of time, you go to Florida in the spring, and it's like 60, 70 degrees, and people down there are wearing coats, and everybody there is wearing t-shirts and shorts and
we're
stuff.
sweating.
Yeah. Oh, it never fails to amuse me.
No. So summertime, Michigan actually has one of the best summers too, because
Best rated summers.
we go from spring, we go into summer, and I would say average temperature here in the summertime is probably around 82-ish degrees. We usually have a couple weeks where it can get up into the 90s, touching the low hundreds, and then we've got a period of 85, 80-degree weather where it's not super humid. And then we do have a portion of summer where it is pretty humid, and some of those days, like 96 degrees and 100% humidity, those are pretty nasty days. But luckily, we only have a couple weeks of that, where some of these other states, like Texas and some of these other states, you could have month stretches of 100-degree heat with high humidity.
Yes.
So we don't have that here.
Right.
Which means we don't have scorpions, and we don't have a lot of poisonous snakes and all that nasty stuff.
Yeah, they can stay down there.
South. So moving on to fall.
Fall is really something spectacular in Michigan. Maple trees turn majestic colors of bright red, orange, and a lot of times yellow. Now, if you watch any of our other videos, there's actually been a number of different articles, newspapers, magazines, I can't remember which, but they actually named places in Michigan that are the best to see fall time colors in all of the United States. And that's no joke. If you go up north, we say up north as in the upper part of the peninsula, up north, there are a lot of scenic outlooks. If you drive right down the highway, you'll come over this hill, and you can see for miles and miles.
It blows your mind.
Blows your
really
mind,
does.
especially when you're in the fall and you get to see all those colors, or get to these scenic outlooks, or even get the chance to go up to the UP and check out some of those amazing colors up there. It just blows your mind.
Yeah, it really does. Now, one thing on that subject, every year if you move here, check out when they expect all of the peak colors to be. And then whenever that is, when they come out with that calendar, you'll see it on the news, and just look it up on Google. Pick a day and go drive. Go do a color tour with your kids. Everybody's jaws will be on the ground every single year. It doesn't matter. It's that vibrant. It's hard for your brain to even realize.
And obviously, you got to stop these little orchards along the way and get some cider. And a lot of times they have homemade donuts and stuff, which are amazing.
Everything in Michigan during the fall time is pumpkin.
Right.
Like pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that, pumpkin spice burger. Like everything's pumpkin
donuts.
Okay, let's jump into fall. We don't make this winter. We don't make this too long for you guys. So actually, at the time of making this video, it is winter. That's why Ross and I are actually in warmer clothes right now, because it is nice and cold out today. Winter can be brutal. We're not going to bullshit you guys. Like, this could be a pro and it could be a con. Depends on what you like. I mean, wintertime, we've got plenty of ski hills for you to go check out. We've got Boyne Mountain up north. That's a really nice ski area. They've got hotels and stuff for you to stay in there. There's a bunch of them. Cannonsburg here in West Michigan is a really nice one, really nice ski hill. There's a lot of stuff to do there. There's a lot of snowmobiling if you like to snowmobile. If you are into snowmobiling, make sure that you go up to the Upper Peninsula, because they get over 100 inches of snow and it sticks. Where down here in the lower portion of Michigan, sometimes we can have a lot of snow, and a lot of times it's up and down. Like, we don't have snow that sticks a lot. So make sure that you plan a trip to the Upper Peninsula for that type of thing. Now, wintertime can be very brutal here. That's where the pro of winter comes in. There is times where I have seen negative 20 degrees.
Yes.
And there's times where that's been 2 weeks long of negative 20 degrees. Now, it doesn't always happen every year, but do plan for just in case that's going to happen. Plan for longer commutes. Plan for probably getting winter tires, especially if you've got a light front-wheel drive car. If you've got a 4x4, typically you're pretty good as long as you have good tires. Just think about that kind of stuff. So, but wintertime can be fun. It's gorgeous. Like, some of the days, like,
my goodness, we just
the
had
snow we just had.
Yeah,
that was gorgeous.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All the trees, all the branches on the trees that all had just a little bit of snow on them. It was just With something out of a Hallmark card. Let's go on to number 5, small town living.
We have a lot of that here.
Yes, we have a lot of that here. What do you expect? Why is number 5 pro for Michigan? Now, when we look at these small town living, we're talking about having tight knit communities.
Yep.
We're talking about having people that recognize you, people that know your name, people that say hi when you're walking down the street. That Midwest friendly that we're talking about, that we keep talking about, and people are willing to go out of their way to help their neighbors.
Yeah, 100%. And there is a ton of small towns in Michigan. You know, we, again, 9 million people in the entire state, where, like, you're talking Houston, Texas. What is it? They have 43,000 real estate agents.
Yeah, I don't
like the
That's crazy.
population of some of these other states. You know, I think Texas is 38 million people. Michigan is only 9 million in the
Yes.
whole state, and we have a really big state.
And most people live over on the east side of the state.
Yes. So that means that you're going to have a lot of these small towns scattered all over the place that don't have a ton of people living in them. So you're going to get to know your neighbors. You're going to get to know, you know, the people that are in charge of those towns. Almost all of them have really cute, quaint downtowns for you to walk. All the small shops. Holland has heated streets and heated sidewalks.
Yeah.
So Holland's a really cool one to visit during the wintertime. It's just a lot of people like that small town living because you're going to get that connection and, you know, the small town.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another big draw for people moving here.
Okay, so we're going to pause for a second here because when Ross and I made this video, 5 pros and 5 cons, it ended up being a little over 30 minutes long, and we don't want you sitting here for 30 minutes. Unless you do. If you like 30-minute videos, throw that down in the comment section. We'd love to make some 30-minute videos for you because Ross and I can definitely talk.
Or just wait until it premieres on both of them and then just put them back to back and just watch them
You
both.
could do that.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to end up breaking this up into 2 videos. So thank you so much for everybody that did stay to the end. We kind of tricked you a little bit. We didn't realize we were going to trick you, but we will make sure we put the 5 cons out immediately because we are going to break that up into a separate video. So if you are looking at moving to Michigan, please do not hesitate to reach out to Ross and I. You can call us, you can text us, you can email us, you can even send a pigeon care if you have to. Whatever you have to do, Ross and I have your back when it comes to making a move here in Michigan. Okay, stay tuned for part 2.
Stay tuned for the reasons why you shouldn't move to Michigan.
Exactly. See ya.